So you can see the pith balls and they have a mass m, so they experience a weight of mg downward direction, tension. Hello everyone. So in this video we are going to start the electrostatic part. So we know that electrostatic is divided into two chapters, that is electric charges and field, and electric potential and capacitance. So in this video we are basically going to discuss about the electric charge, Coulomb's law and electric field lines. And in the next part of the video we will discuss about torque, flux and Gauss law. So first we'll discuss what is electric charge. So all we know the electric charge, it is the basic property or it is the intrinsic property of a matter, or it is associated with a matter due to which it experiences an electric or magnetic forces or magnetic effects. So basically the electric charge is divided into two types. One is the positive charge and the other one is negative charge. So positive charge, in case of positive charge, the number of electron is less than the number of proton, and in case of negative charge, the number of electron is greater than number of proton. So you can take the example of Na plus. In sodium plus ion, you can see that total there are 10 electrons but 11 protons are there. So in case of positive charge, number of electron is less than number of proton. Similarly, here you can consider the example of Cl minus. So in this case, the number of protons is 17, whereas the number of electrons is 18. So this is the number of electron and proton. Electron number is greater than number of proton in case of negative charge. And about the SI unit, the SI unit is Coulomb, represented by C, and the smallest charge is 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19. Okay, so as we have discussed that there are two types of charges. Basically, there is a law of electrostatic, the fundamental law, which states that the like charges, positive and positive, these are the like charges, so they repel each other. Similarly, negative, negative also repel each other, but when two unlike charges are present, they will attract each other. Now we are going to discuss about Coulomb's law. So in Coulomb's law we will find out that how much amount of force of attraction or repulsion is there between the two charges. Okay, so now discuss about Coulomb's law. In case of Coulomb's law, we consider the two charges Q1 and Q2, and they are separated by a certain distance r. So according to Coulomb's law, the force of attraction or force of repulsion between these two charges is directly proportional to the product of the charges, magnitude of product of the charges, and inversely proportional to square of the distance between them. So combining these two equations, you can directly get F is equal to K into Q1 into Q2 upon R square. So here K is the proportionality constant, whose numeric value is 9 into 10 to the power 9 Newton meter square Coulomb to the power minus 2, and in the form of expression we express it as 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. So here epsilon naught is the permittivity of vacuum. So here we have considered the vacuum medium. Now we will discuss what is the permittivity. So in case of force in vacuum medium, it is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into Q1 into Q2 upon R square. Now if the charged particle are present in two different medium instead of vacuum, so we substitute epsilon naught with epsilon into Q1 into Q2 upon R square. Now you can simply divide these two equations. So we are going to get a formula, that is F vacuum by F medium equal to epsilon by epsilon naught. This ratio is called the relative permittivity epsilon r, and this can also be defined as the dielectric constant. So this formula is quite important. This epsilon r gives the value of relative permittivity, and this small k is the dielectric constant. So these two constants, that is relative permittivity and dielectric constants, they are dimensionless and unitless constants. So we'll discuss that what is the permittivity exactly, what is the meaning of permittivity. Okay, so here you see an example. Suppose the two charged particles are present. Here is Q1 and here is Q2. So between these two charged particles, a medium is also present. So this medium determines the electrostatic force between the two charged particles. So this determining property is called the permittivity of that medium. So from medium to medium, the permittivity is going to vary. So for vacuum, we take the permittivity as epsilon naught, and for rest all the mediums we simply take as epsilon for rest all the mediums. But they have a different values of epsilon. The different medium, they will have different values, but we only represent it as epsilon. And similarly for the vacuum, it is represented by epsilon naught. The value of epsilon naught is 8.85 into 10 to the power minus 12 Newton to the power minus 1 meter to the power minus 2 Coulomb square. This is the value of permittivity. Okay, so here is the first question of Coulomb's law. 2 point charges A and B having charges of plus Q and minus Q respectively are placed at certain distance apart, and force acting between them is F. If 25% of charge of A is transferred to B, then the force between the charges become. So in the question it is given that the two charges are there, plus Q and the other one is minus Q. They are separated by a certain distance. So here 25% of the charge is transferred from one charge to the other charge. So we have to calculate the new force between them. Initially the force between them was F. Okay, so now you see initially the force between the two charges, it can be represented by 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into Q square by R. The distance between them initially is given as R. Now in the question it is given 25% of the charge from one of the charge is transferred to the other charge. So suppose plus Q loses 25% of the charge. So 25% means 1/4 of the charge it is going to lose, Q by 4, and this amount of charge is going to be transferred over here. So minus Q plus Q by 4. So here you can find the new charge, it is 3Q by 4. This is the new charge, and here the new charge will be minus 3Q by 4. Now the distance between them is R. So force between them will be 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into 3Q by 4 into 3Q by 4 divided by R square. So on solving this you will get 9 by 16 into 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into Q square by R square, the small r square, Q square by R square. So now you can see that this is the initial force. So now the new force F dash, this F dash equal to 9 by 16 of the old force. So this is the answer, and option C is correct. when air is replaced by a dielectric medium of constant capital K, the maximum force of attraction between the two charges separated by a distance is. So the options are given. So the solution is very clear. We have just now discussed the formula, that is F vacuum by F medium equal to epsilon by epsilon naught equal to epsilon r equal to K. So you can directly relate K with F vacuum by F medium, and from this relation you can show that F medium equal to F vacuum by K. So in the given medium, the force is going to become 1 by K times, or it is going to decrease by K times. So according to the given options, option C will be correct. So this question is also a very important question. So all of you see, it is given the two pith balls carrying equal charges are suspended from a common point by string of equal length. The equilibrium separation between them is small r. Now the string are rigidly clamped at the half the height, and the equilibrium separation between the balls is now become, okay, so you have to find the equilibrium separation, the r dash value you have to find out. Okay, so let us solve this one. So here I have drawn the free body diagram of the question. So you can see the pith balls, and they have a mass m, so they experience a weight of mg downward direction. Tension T is acting along this direction. If this angle is theta, then this angle is also going to be equal with theta. Then this is going to be T sin theta, and this is going to be T cos theta, and along this direction it is going to experience a repulsive force due to the other pith ball. So from the given diagram we can write down that T cos theta equal to mg, and in the second equation you can write T sin theta equal to F. Now you can simply divide the equation 2 with equation 1. So it is going to be tan theta equal to F by mg. So on expanding the value of F, you can get 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into Q square by R square. This is the charge of each pith ball is Q and distance is R, divided by m into g. So from the triangle you can find the value of tan theta also, and tan theta here it is going to be R by 2 divided by y. So now you compare these two equations, we can rewrite them as R by 2 divided by y equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into Q square by R square divided by mg. So you can take this equation as equation number 3. Now we apply this formula which we have discussed here. We apply this to this figure. So here also when you apply this formula, you are going to get that tan theta equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into Q square by R dash square divided by mg. Okay, now you can see I have already written the value of tan theta at this equation. So you can now compare these two equations. Again you can create another equation, equation 4. So here I have written the equation number 3 and equation number 4. Equation number 4 I have compared this tan theta with this tan theta and created the equation number 4. Now you have to simply divide the equation number 4 by equation number 3. So by dividing you are going to get the value of 2r dash by r equal to, here we can get r square by r dash square. So now you have to take all the r dash to one side and r to one side. You are simply going to get r dash cube equal to 1 by 2 into r cube. Now you have to find the value of r dash. So the value of r dash is going to be r upon cube root of 2. That is the answer to this question. So option D is correct. Now we'll discuss about the forces between multiple charges. So when there is more than one charge is present, suppose this is the charge q1 and here is another charge q2, q3, q4, different charges are there. So when in this case we are going to calculate the net force acting on the charge q1, we have to simply do the algebraic sum of all the individual forces. So here I have considered all the forces to be positive, so it is going to be experiencing repulsive force due to all the three forces. So here I mention this as F1, this is the F14, and here it is F13, and here it is F12. So the net force or the total force experienced by Q1 will be F12 vector plus F13 vector plus F14 vector. So this is the total net force experienced by the Q1 charge. But one thing you should remember, by the presence of third charge, the force between the two charges is not affected. This is very important. You see, suppose the charge Q1 and Q4, they have a force of 10 Newton. Now if Q3 is now present between them or anywhere in near their configuration, then the force between Q1 and Q4 is not going to be affected. However, the net force on Q1 is going to be affected. The net force will be affected on Q1, but the force between the two charged particles is independent of the third charge. This point is very important. So to solve this type of problem, you should know the vector formula resultant of two vectors, that is r vector equal to root over of a square plus b square plus 2ab cos theta, where theta is the angle between the two vectors. And to know the direction, you must use tan beta equal to b sin theta by a plus b cos theta. So here the beta, it is the angle between the resultant vector and the b vector. This is quite important, where beta is the angle between resultant and b vector. So now let us discuss some of the numericals based on forces between multiple charges. So in this section you are also going to encounter some of the questions regarding equilibrium of forces. So here one question is given: a charge small q is placed at the center of the line joining the two equal charges capital Q. The system of three charges will be in equilibrium if small q is equal to. So very common question. Let us solve this one. Okay, so now here we have to find the two things, that we have to find the sign and also we have to find the magnitude. So these two things we have to find. So first of all we discuss about sign. Suppose in the question it is given that these two charges are positive. Suppose we consider this charge is also positive, then what will happen is the charge which is present over here is going to get a repulsive force due to this, and due to this also it is going to get a repulsive force. So there is no chance of equilibrium. So to maintain equilibrium, it must be having its charge of negative, so that it can attract this charge, and it will repel and it will attract. So then equilibrium can be achieved. So one thing is clear, that the sign is negative. Okay. So now we'll find out the magnitude. Now you see, suppose the distance between the two charges, it is given in the question that Q is placed at the center, it is given. So actually I have placed at side. So you can place that at the center, exactly at the center. And if this distance is D, then this distance will also be equal to D. Now you see, we have to find the magnitude of Q. So let us consider this charge. So the force between this small q and capital Q will be equal to the force between this capital Q and capital Q. So because as the system is in equilibrium, we have to consider this situation. So F small q into capital Q will be 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into Q divided by D square, and these two will be 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught capital Q into capital Q by 2D square. Now 1 by 4 pi epsilon got cancelled, capital Q got cancelled, so small q equal to, on solving this, you are going to get the answer to be capital Q by 4. So this is the magnitude, capital Q by 4 with the sign of negative, so the answer is going to be minus Q by 4. This is the answer to the question. Okay, so here I have considered the three examples. So in the first case, it is given that to find the force on the charge which is present at the centroid. So which is present at the centroid, you have to find the force on the charge capital Q. Now you see this capital Q is going to experience a repulsive force due to this, and it is also going to experience the repulsive force due to this, and also the same repulsive force due to the same charge plus Q. So here if this force is F, then this force will also be F, and this force will also be F, because all the distances are same and the pair of charges are also same. So now you can see that the angle, we have considered it as an equilateral triangle, so the angle between them will be 120 degree. So when you find the resultant, the final net force is going to be 0 in this case. Similarly, the next question you see, it is a negative charge, it is going to attract and it is also going to attract with the same magnitude. F and F get cancelled, equal and opposite direction. Here the plus is going to repel, here also it is going to repel. Again it is F dash, then it will be also F dash, these two also cancel. Here also the net force equal to 0. And in this question it is given equilateral triangle is there, and two positive charges are placed at the base and one of the negative charge is present here. So now this in the question it is given to find the force on the negative charge. So this negative charge is going to experience a force along this direction and along this direction, because these two are going to be attracted and this is also going to attract the negative charge. So if this force is F, then this force will be F and this angle will be 60 degree. So in this case the net force will be root over of F square plus 2 into F into cos 60 degree. So on solving this, you will find it as root over of 3 into F. So in this way you can find the forces on a charged particle due to the different charge system present in the configuration.